I never thought the worst night of my life would start with me trying to surprise my wife. I showed up at an elite nightclub where she said she was networking, and I found her in VIP, wrapped around another man, laughing like I didn't exist. When she looked me dead in the eye and turned her back on me, something inside me broke. But I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I pulled out my phone, made one call, and bought the entire VIP section, just so security could escort her out in front of everyone. What happened next cost me everything I thought I wanted and gave me back the one thing I'd lost: myself. If you're watching this, subscribe and tell me where you're from, because this story is about to get real. I pulled into the driveway at 11:30, my headlights cutting through the dark like a knife. The house was quiet. No lights on except the one Evelyn always left burning in the front hall. I sat in the car for a minute, engine ticking as it cooled down. My hands were still on the wheel even though I wasn't going anywhere. Just sitting, just breathing. It had been a long shift. 3 airport runs, 2 corporate pickups, and one drunk wedding party that tipped me $40 just for not judging them. Good money, clean work, honest. I loved driving, always had. There was something peaceful about it, being in control of where you're going, even if someone else is telling you the destination. I climbed out and locked the car. The night air was cool, almost cold. October in the city always felt like that, like summer was holding on by its fingernails. Inside, the house smelled like lavender. Evelyn's candles. She bought them by the dozen from some fancy store downtown, $20 a pop. I used to tease her about it. I didn't anymore. I set my keys on the counter and checked my phone. One message from her, sent 3 hours ago. Working late. Networking event. Don't wait up. I stared at the words. She'd been doing that a lot lately. Staying out. Working late. Networking. I trusted her. I did. But something felt off. I opened the fridge and pulled out a bottle of water. Drank half of it standing there in the dim light. The house was too big for 2 people, too quiet. Evelyn had bought it before we got married. Cash, her family money. I never felt like it was mine. I walked upstairs, my footsteps soft on the carpet. Our bedroom door was open. The bed was made, perfect and untouched. She hadn't been home all day. I pulled out my phone again and looked at her message. Then I opened the location app we shared. She'd said it was for safety, so we'd always know where the other one was. Her dot was blinking at a place called Eclipse, a nightclub, downtown, expensive, the kind of place where they charge you $50 just to stand near the bar. I sat down on the edge of the bed. My chest felt tight. Networking. Maybe it was. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe she really was shaking hands and handing out business cards in a room full of investors. But Eclipse wasn't a conference room. It was a party spot, a place where people went to be seen. I stood up, grabbed my jacket. I didn't know what I was doing, didn't have a plan. I just knew I needed to see her, needed to know she was okay, that we were okay. I texted her, "Hey, finished early. Want me to pick you up?" I waited. 5 minutes, 10, no reply. I walked back downstairs and got in my car. The city looked different at night, brighter, louder, like it was trying to prove something. I parked 2 blocks away from Eclipse because the valet line was wrapped around the corner. Maseratis, Teslas, a Bentley with custom plates. I looked down at my car, a clean Honda Accord, paid off, reliable. Suddenly, it felt small. I walked toward the club, hands in my pockets. The bass was so loud I could feel it in my chest before I even reached the door. A line of people stretched down the sidewalk. Girls in tight dresses, guys in designer jackets. Everyone looked expensive. I got in line. The bouncer at the front was huge, bald head, arms like tree trunks. He barely looked at people before waving them in or turning them away. When I got to the front, he looked me up and down. I was wearing jeans and a black jacket, clean, presentable. Not enough. "Covers 100, he said. I pulled out my wallet, handed him 5 20s. He counted it slowly, then stepped aside. Inside, the music hit me like a wave. The lights were low and purple, flashing in time with the beat. The place was packed, bodies everywhere, moving, laughing, shouting over the music. I stood near the entrance, scanning the room, looking for her. The bar was on the left, glowing blue. The dance floor was in the center, chaos and heat, and in the back, raised up on a platform, was the VIP section. Roped off, guarded, exclusive. That's where she'd be. I pulled out my phone and texted again. I'm here. Where are you? I watched the screen, waited for the three little dots that meant she was typing. Nothing. I pushed through the crowd, moving toward the VIP platform. People bumped into me, drinks sloshing. No one apologized. No one even looked. I got closer, and then I saw her. Evelyn. She was in a booth near the center of VIP, surrounded by people. Her hair was down, long and blonde, the way she wore it when she wanted attention. She had on a black dress I'd never seen before. Tight, short. She was smiling. And she wasn't alone. There was a man next to her. White guy, tall, clean cut, suit jacket, no tie. He had his arm on the back of the booth, close to her shoulders. Too close. She leaned into him, said something in his ear. He laughed. My stomach dropped. I stood there, frozen, watching, hoping I was wrong, hoping this was just networking, just business. Then she turned her head, looked at him, and he kissed her neck. She didn't pull away. I felt my hands curl into fists. My breath came fast and shallow. The music was too loud. The lights were too bright. I wanted to move, wanted to shout, wanted to do something, but I couldn't. I just stood there, watching my wife smile at another man. I don't know how long I stood there. Could have been a minute, could have been 10. Everything felt slow and fast at the same time. My heart was pounding so hard I thought people could hear it. Evelyn laughed again, tilted her head back. The man whispered something else and she touched his arm. Light, familiar, like they'd done this before. I took a step forward, then stopped. What was I going to do? Walk up there? 'Cause a scene? I looked around. People were staring at their phones, at their drinks, at each other. No one was looking at me. No one cared. I pulled out my phone and opened the camera, zoomed in on the VIP section, on her. My hand was shaking. I took a picture, then another. Not because I needed proof. I knew what I was seeing. I just needed something solid, something I could look at later and know I wasn't crazy. Then Evelyn turned her head, looked out toward the crowd, looked right at me. Our eyes met. For a second, her smile dropped. Her face went blank, confused, like she was trying to figure out if I was real. Then she turned back to the man, put her hand on his chest, leaned in closer. She turned her back on me, on purpose. Something inside me cracked, not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet snap, like a bone breaking under pressure. I stepped back, put my phone away, looked down at my hands. They were shaking. I turned and walked toward the bar, ordered a water. The bartender looked annoyed but poured it anyway. I stood there, gripping the glass, trying to think. She saw me. She knew I was here, and she chose him anyway. I drank the water in 3 long gulps, set the glass down, pulled out my phone again. I didn't text her. Instead, I called a number I hadn't used in 2 years. It rang twice. Nina Alvarez, Eclipse Operations. How can I help you? Her voice was professional, calm. Hi, I said. My voice was steady. Weird how steady it was. I'd like to rent the VIP section. Tonight. There was a pause. The entire section? Yes. Sir, that section is currently occupied. I know, I said. I'd like to buy it out. Right now. Another pause. Longer this time. That would be $15,000. I didn't hesitate. I'll pay 20. Silence. Then, she said, let me get my manager. 10 minutes later, I was standing in a side office with Nina and a man in a gray suit who introduced himself as the club owner. He had rings on 3 fingers and a watch that probably cost more than my car. He smiled at me like I was a slot machine about to pay out. "Mr. Hill, is it?" "Marcus." "Marcus, great. We can absolutely accommodate your request." He tapped something on a tablet. 20,000 for full VIP access remainder of the evening. We'll clear the current guests and have the section ready in 15 minutes. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, the one connected to the account I never touched, the account I'd been building for 5 years, saving, planning. For what? I didn't know. A house, maybe, a business, a future. I transferred $20,000. The owner's phone buzzed. He looked at it. His smile got bigger. "Pleasure doing business with you, Marcus." Nina looked at me, really looked, like she was trying to figure me out. "You want us to clear everyone?" she asked. "Or just specific people?" I met her eyes. "Everyone." She nodded. Didn't ask why. They walked me back out into the club. The music was still pounding. People were still dancing, drinking, laughing. Nina spoke into a radio. I couldn't hear what she said, but I saw 2 security guards start moving toward the VIP section. I stayed near the bar, watched. The guards went up the steps. One of them leaned down and said something to the group in Evelyn's booth. Her head snapped up. She looked confused, then annoyed. She said something back, pointed at the man next to her. He pulled out his wallet, like he was about to show a credit card or an ID. The guard shook his head, pointed toward the exit. Evelyn stood up. I could see her mouth moving, sharp and fast, angry. The second guard stepped in, gestured again. People in the other booths were starting to notice, starting to whisper. Evelyn's face went red. She grabbed her purse and started walking toward the steps, the man trailing behind her. The guards followed. I didn't move, just stood there, watching her get escorted out of her own night. She was halfway down the steps when she saw me. Her eyes went wide. I lifted my glass of water, took a sip. She stopped walking. The guard touched her elbow, guiding her forward, but she yanked her arm away. "Marcus," she said. I could barely hear her over the music. I didn't answer, just looked at her, the way she'd looked at me 20 minutes ago. Right before she turned away. Her mouth opened, closed. She looked back at the man, then at the VIP section, then at me again. I saw it click. "You," she pointed at me. "You did this?" I set my glass down, turned and walked toward the door. Behind me, I heard her shouting my name. I didn't look back. Outside, the air was cold and sharp. My breath came out in clouds. My hands were still shaking, but my head was clear. I walked toward my car, footsteps steady on the pavement. "Marcus." I stopped, turned around. Evelyn was standing under the club's neon sign, her arms crossed over her chest. The man was a few feet behind her, looking uncomfortable. She walked toward me, fast, angry. "What the hell was that?" she said. I didn't answer. "You embarrassed me in there, in front of everyone." Her voice was rising. "Do you know who those people were?" "Yeah," I said quietly. "I do." She stopped, stared at me. "This is insane, Marcus. You're acting insane." "Am I?" "Yes." She threw her hands up. "Showing up at my work event, throwing money around like some work event," I repeated. She stopped. "That's what you called it, right?" I said. "Networking." Her jaw tightened. "It is work. You wouldn't understand." "I saw you, Evelyn." She froze. "I saw you with him." Her eyes flicked toward the man behind her, then back to me. "That's Ryan. He's an investor, a colleague." "You kiss all your colleagues like that?" Her face went pale. For a second, I thought she might apologize, might break down, might say something real. Instead, she straightened up, lifted her chin. "You don't know what you saw." I laughed. It came out hollow. "Yeah, I do." She stepped closer, lowered her voice. You're embarrassing yourself. And me. This is why I don't bring you to these things, Marcus. You don't fit. The words hit me like fists. I looked at her, really looked, and I didn't see my wife anymore. I saw a stranger. You're right, I said. I don't. I turned and walked to my car. Marcus, she shouted, don't you dare walk away from me. I got in, started the engine. She ran up and pounded on the window. We're not done. I put the car in drive, and I left. I drove for an hour. Didn't go home. Just drove. Through downtown. Past the river. Out toward the industrial side of the city where the streetlights were dim and the buildings were low. I parked in an empty lot and turned off the car. Sat there in the silence. My phone buzzed. Evelyn. Where are you? I turned the phone face down. It buzzed again and again. I leaned my head back against the seat and closed my eyes. I kept seeing her face, the way she looked at him, the way she smiled, like she was happy, like she'd never been that happy with me. I thought about the 5 years we'd been together, the 2 years we'd been married. I thought about all the times she'd introduced me as my husband, but never by name. The way her friends looked at me like I was temporary. The way her father called me the driver, even after I told him I owned my own car service. I thought about how I'd loved her, how I'd believed in us, how stupid that felt now. My phone buzzed again. I picked it up. You're overreacting. Come home so we can talk like adults. I stared at the message. Then I deleted it. I started the car and drove home. When I pulled into the driveway, the lights were on. Evelyn's car was already there. I walked inside. She was sitting on the couch, arms crossed, eyes red. For a second, I thought she'd been crying. Then I realized she was just angry. We need to talk, she said. I nodded, sat down in the chair across from her. You humiliated me tonight, she said. I didn't respond. Do you have any idea what this could do to my reputation? To my business? I looked at her. Is that all you care about? Don't twist this, Marcus. You're the one who showed up and made a scene. I didn't make a scene, I said. I just bought something you thought you owned. Her face went red. You're being childish. Maybe. She stood up, paced. I don't know what you think you saw. I saw you cheating on me. The words hung in the air. She stopped pacing, turned to face me. That's not. She shook her head. You don't understand. Ryan is. I don't care who he is. Then what do you want? She snapped. An apology? Fine, I'm sorry you got your feelings hurt. I stood up. You're not sorry. What? You're not sorry, I said again. You're just mad you got caught. She stared at me. Her mouth opened, closed. I'm going to bed, I said. I walked toward the stairs. Marcus. I stopped. Didn't turn around. This is on you, she said. You're the one who couldn't let it go. You're the one who made this a problem. I looked back at her, and for the first time in 5 years, I saw her clearly. Yeah, I said. I did. I went upstairs, and I slept on the couch. I woke up to sunlight coming through the living room window. My neck was stiff. My back hurt. The couch wasn't made for sleeping. I sat up and checked my phone. 7:30 in the morning. No messages. I stood and stretched, feeling every muscle protest. The house was quiet. Too quiet. I walked into the kitchen and started the coffee maker. While it brewed, I stared out the window at the backyard. The grass needed cutting. The fence needed painting. All the things I'd been meaning to do. All the things that didn't matter anymore. I heard footsteps on the stairs, slow, deliberate. Evelyn walked into the kitchen wearing her silk robe, the expensive one. Her hair was pulled back and her face looked tired. She didn't look at me, just went straight to the coffee maker and poured herself a cup. We stood there in silence, 5 feet apart. Might as well have been 5 miles. We need to talk, she said finally. Okay. She turned to face me, leaned against the counter. Last night was a mistake. I waited. Not me and Ryan, she said quickly. I mean your reaction. What you did. That was a mistake. I took a sip of my coffee. It was too hot. I didn't care. You embarrassed yourself, she continued. You acted like some jealous. She stopped, searched for the word. Like you don't trust me. I don't. Her face hardened. That's your problem, Marcus. You've always been insecure about my money, my family, my career, and now you're taking it out on me. I saw you with him. You saw me networking, she said. Her voice was sharp now, cold. That's what I do. I build relationships. I make connections. Just because you don't understand that world doesn't mean I'm doing something wrong. I set my cup down. He kissed your neck. He was drunk. It didn't mean anything. You didn't stop him because I didn't want to make a scene. She threw her hands up. God, Marcus, this is exactly why I don't bring you to these things. You don't get it. You never have. I looked at her, really looked. You're right, I said. I don't get it. She blinked, like she'd been expecting a fight and didn't know what to do with agreement. Good, she said. Then we can move past this. No. Her eyes narrowed. What? We can't move past it, I said, because you don't think you did anything wrong. I didn't. You let another man put his hands on you, his mouth on you, while you were wearing your wedding ring. She looked down at her hand. The ring was still there, small, simple, not the kind of ring her friends had, not the kind of ring she'd wanted, the kind of ring I could afford. You're being dramatic, she said. I nodded slowly. Maybe. I walked past her, out of the kitchen, up the stairs. Where are you going? She called after me. I didn't answer. I spent the day out, drove around, went to the gym, sat in a coffee shop and watched people live their normal lives. I didn't go home until after dark. When I walked in, Evelyn was on the couch with her laptop. She barely looked up. There's leftovers in the fridge, she said. Thanks. I heated up some pasta, ate it standing at the counter. When I was done, I washed my plate and went upstairs. I grabbed a pillow and a blanket from the closet. What are you doing? Evelyn's voice came from behind me. Sleeping on the couch. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not. She stood in the doorway, arms crossed. You're really going to do this? Act like a child? I'm giving us space. We don't need space. We need to move on. I looked at her. You keep saying that like it's easy. It should be, she said, if you trusted me. I did trust you. And now? I didn't answer. Her face tightened. Fine. Sleep on the couch. See if I care. She turned and walked back into the bedroom, slammed the door. I stood there for a minute. Then I went downstairs and made up my bed on the couch. I slept better than I had in months. The next few days passed in a blur. Evelyn stayed out late every night, came home after I was already asleep, left before I woke up. We barely spoke. When we did, it was surface level. Cold. Did you pay the electric bill? Yeah. Okay. That was it. I started noticing things I'd ignored before. How she never asked about my day. How she never touched me unless she wanted something. How she talked about me to her friends like I was an accessory. I heard her on the phone one night. I wasn't trying to listen. I was just walking past the bedroom door. He's being impossible, she said. No, I don't know what his problem is. He just... She laughed. I know. You'd think he'd be grateful. I stopped walking. I mean, it's not like he'd have any of this without me, she continued. The house, the lifestyle. He was driving ride shares when we met, for God's sake. My chest tightened. Exactly. He should be thanking me. Another laugh. I don't know how much longer I can deal with this. He's exhausting. I walked downstairs. grabbed my keys, went for a drive. I ended up at Thomas's place, my oldest friend. We'd grown up together, gone to the same schools, worked on cars in his garage when we were teenagers. He opened the door with a beer in his hand and a grin on his face. Marcus Hill, man, I thought you forgot about me. Never. He stepped aside, let me in. His apartment was small but clean, posters on the walls, a TV playing a basketball game on mute. It smelled like pizza and motor oil. Want a beer? He asked. Yeah. He tossed me one from the fridge. We sat on the couch and watched the game for a while without talking. Finally, Thomas muted the TV. You gonna tell me what's going on? I took a long drink. Evelyn cheated. He didn't look surprised. You knew? I asked. No, but I'm not shocked. I looked at him. What's that supposed to mean? He shrugged. Man, I love you. You know that. But that woman never treated you right. Marcus. He cut me off. I've known you since we were kids. I've seen you with other girls. You were different with them. Happy, real. I didn't say anything. With Evelyn, you're always trying to prove something, like you gotta earn the right to be with her. That's not true, isn't it? I stared at my beer. She made you small, man, Thomas said quietly, and you let her. The words hit me like a punch, because he was right. What do I do? I asked. What do you want to do? I thought about it, about the house, the marriage, the life I'd built, the life I'd never felt at home in. I don't know, I said. Thomas leaned back. Then figure it out. But don't stay somewhere you're not wanted. You're better than that. I started making changes, small ones at first. I went back to the gym, started lifting again, running, taking care of myself. I upgraded my car. Nothing crazy, just a nicer model, something that felt like mine. I picked up extra shifts, worked harder, saved more. I stopped, waiting for Evelyn to come home. Stopped checking my phone every 5 minutes. Stopped caring what she thought. And the weird thing? I felt lighter. For the first time in years, I felt like myself again. Evelyn noticed. One night, about a week after the club incident, she came home early, found me in the kitchen making dinner. She stood in the doorway, watching. You've been going out a lot, she said. Yeah. Where? Gym. Work. Around. She frowned. You look different. I didn't respond. She walked closer, put her hand on my arm. Marcus. I looked down at her hand, then at her face. What? I miss you. The words should have made me feel something. Relief, hope, anything. But they just felt empty. Do you? I asked. Of course I do. I moved my arm away, gently but deliberately. You haven't talked to me in a week, Evelyn. Because you've been avoiding me. No, I've been giving you space, like you wanted. Her face changed. The softness disappeared. Don't do this. Do what? Act like you're the victim here. You're the one who made this weird. I turned off the stove, faced her. I saw you with another man. You're mad I bought him out of a club. And somehow I'm the problem? Yes. Her voice rose. Because you can't let it go. You're holding on to this like I committed some crime. You cheated on me. I didn't. Then what was it? She opened her mouth, closed it, looked away. It was nothing, she said finally. It didn't mean anything. That's worse. What? If it didn't mean anything, then you threw away our marriage for nothing. Her eyes flashed. Don't you dare put this on me. You're the one who's too insecure to... I'm done, I said. She froze. What? I'm done, Evelyn. With this. With us. Her face went pale. You don't mean that. I do. Marcus, I want a divorce. The words hung in the air like smoke. She stared at me, her mouth opened but nothing came out. Then she laughed, sharp and bitter. You want a divorce? You? Yeah. Fine. She crossed her arms. Go ahead. File. See what happens. Okay? Her smile faltered. You'll regret this, she said. You have no idea what you're giving up. Yes, I do. No, you don't. She stepped closer. Her voice dropped, got colder. You think you can just leave? You think you'll be fine without me? I'll figure it out. She laughed again. You'll end up right back where you started, driving strangers around, living in some tiny apartment, alone. Maybe. And I'll be fine, she said. I'll move on, find someone better, someone who actually belongs in my world. I looked at her, and I felt nothing. Good, I said. You should. Her face crumpled. For a second, I thought she might cry, might break down, might show me something real. But she just turned and walked away. I heard the bedroom door slam. I stood there in the kitchen, my heart pounding. But I didn't feel sad. I felt free. That night, I packed a bag. I didn't take much. Clothes, toiletries, my laptop, a few books. I left everything else. The furniture, the wedding photos, the life we'd built. I didn't want any of it. I walked downstairs with my bag over my shoulder. Evelyn was sitting on the couch, staring at her phone. She looked up when she heard me. Where are you going? Hotel. Then I'll find an apartment. She stood up. Marcus, wait. I'm not doing this, Evelyn. Not tonight. But I'll have a lawyer contact you. Her face went red. You're serious? Yeah. This is insane. You're throwing away everything over one stupid night. I stopped at the door, turned to face her. It wasn't one night, it was every night. Every time you made me feel like I wasn't enough, like I didn't belong, like I was lucky you even looked at me. She opened her mouth, closed it. I'm done feeling that way, I said. I opened the door. Marcus. Goodbye, Evelyn. I walked out, got in my car, and drove away. I checked into a hotel downtown. Nothing fancy, just clean and quiet. I sat on the bed and stared at the wall. My phone buzzed. Evelyn. This is a mistake. I turned off my phone, laid back on the bed, and for the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. I didn't know what came next, didn't know where I'd live or how I'd rebuild my life, but I knew one thing. I wasn't going back. Not to her, not to that house, not to feeling small. I closed my eyes, and I slept. The next morning, I woke up to silence. No alarm, no traffic noise, no Evelyn moving around the house pretending I didn't exist. Just quiet. I sat up and looked around the hotel room. Small bed, cheap desk, TV bolted to the wall. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I showered and got dressed, checked my phone. 23 missed calls, 15 text messages, all from Evelyn. I scrolled through them. You can't just leave. We need to talk about this like adults. You're being selfish. Call me back. Marcus. Fine. Do whatever you want. See if I care. I'm calling my lawyer. You'll regret this. I put the phone down, made myself some instant coffee from the packet on the counter. It tasted terrible. I drank it anyway. I spent the week looking for apartments, found one on the east side of the city. One bedroom, small kitchen, hardwood floors that creaked when you walked. It was perfect. I signed the lease the same day. The landlord was an older black woman named Mrs. Patterson. She had gray hair and kind eyes and didn't ask too many questions. You seem like a good man, she said when I handed her the deposit. Quiet, respectful. I try to be, she smiled. That's all I ask. I moved in 3 days later. Didn't have much to move. A few boxes of clothes, my laptop, some books. I bought a bed frame and a mattress from a discount store. Got a couch from Thomas. It took me 4 hours to set everything up. When I was done, I stood in the middle of my living room and looked around. It wasn't fancy. The paint was old. The carpet had stains. The windows didn't close all the way. But it was mine. No one could take it from me. Evelyn called again that night. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Marcus. Her voice was different, softer. We need to talk. Okay. Can you come to the house? No. Silence. Why not? Because it's not my house anymore. That's ridiculous. You still. Evelyn, what do you want? She paused. I want to fix this. There's nothing to fix. Yes, there is. Her voice cracked, just a little. I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. But we can work through this. No, we can't. Marcus, please, just come talk to me, face to face. We owe each other that. I leaned back against my new couch, stared at the ceiling. Fine, I said. Tomorrow. Coffee shop on 7th, 1 o'clock. Thank you. I hung up. I got to the coffee shop, 15 minutes early, ordered a black coffee and sat by the window. Evelyn arrived exactly on time. She always did. She was wearing jeans and a sweater, no makeup, hair in a ponytail. She looked tired. She sat down across from me. Hi, she said. Hi. She ordered a latte. We sat in silence until it arrived. Thank you for meeting me, she said finally. I nodded. She wrapped her hands around her cup, stared into it. I've been thinking a lot. About us. About what happened. I waited. I know I hurt you, she said, and I'm sorry. I really am. Okay. She looked up. That's it? Okay? What do you want me to say? She shook her head. I don't know. I thought you'd yell or cry or something. I'm tired, Evelyn. Of what? Of this. Of fighting. Of feeling like I'm not enough. Her face tightened. I never said you weren't enough. You didn't have to. She leaned back in her chair. That's not fair. Isn't it? She opened her mouth, closed it, looked away. I didn't mean for any of this to happen, she said quietly. Ryan was just. He was there, and you weren't. I was home, waiting for you. But you don't understand my world, Marcus. You never have. My work, my friends, the pressure I'm under. You just. You don't get it. I took a sip of my coffee. You're right. I don't. She looked at me. Her eyes were shining. But I could have helped you understand. If you'd let me. I tried. No, you pulled away. You made me feel like I had to choose between you and my career. Did you? What? Choose. She stared at me. I chose you. Every day. I came home to you. You came home to a house, I said. Not to me. Her face crumpled. For the first time since I'd known her, she started to cry. Real tears, not angry ones, sad ones. I don't want to lose you, she whispered. I looked at her, at the woman I'd loved, the woman I'd married, the woman I'd tried so hard to be enough for, and I felt sorry for her. But I didn't feel love. You already did, I said. She covered her face with her hands. I stood up. Marcus, wait. Take care of yourself, Evelyn. I walked out of the coffee shop. Behind me, I heard her crying. I didn't look back. The days started blending together after that. I worked, drove, went to the gym, came home. It was simple, quiet, good. Thomas came over one night with pizza and beer. We sat on my couch and watched a game. You doing okay? He asked during a commercial. Yeah. You sure? You've been pretty quiet. I'm good, man. Just adjusting. He nodded. You seem different. How? I don't know. Lighter? Like you're not carrying something heavy anymore. I thought about that. Maybe I'm not. He smiled. Good. You deserve that. We went back to watching the game. Evelyn texted me a few more times over the next couple weeks. Can we talk? I miss you. Please call me. I didn't respond. Then one night, my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. Hello? Is this Marcus Hill? Yeah. This is David Chen. I'm an attorney representing Evelyn Whitmore Hill. She's requested that I reach out to you regarding the dissolution of your marriage. I sat up straighter. Okay. She's prepared to offer you a settlement, $50,000 in exchange for a clean separation, no alimony, no claims on assets. $50,000. 6 months ago, that would have felt like a fortune. Now, it just felt like a bribe. I don't want her money, I said. Mr. Hill, I don't want anything from her. Just the divorce papers. That's it. There was a pause. Are you certain? Yes. Very well. I'll draft the papers and send them to you for signature. Thank you. I hung up. My phone buzzed immediately. Evelyn, you didn't have to do that. I stared at the message. Then I typed back. Yes, I did. I blocked her number. The divorce papers came 2 weeks later. I signed them at my kitchen table. Didn't read them too carefully. Didn't matter what they said. I just wanted it done. I mailed them back the same day. A month later, I got a letter in the mail. Your divorce has been finalized. I sat on my couch and stared at the paper. It was over. 5 years. Gone. I thought I'd feel sad, or angry, or something. But I just felt free. I started noticing her car sometimes. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but then it kept happening. I'd be leaving for work in the morning and I'd see her silver Mercedes parked down the street. I'd come home at night and it would be there again, just sitting, engine off. She never got out, never approached me, just watched. It should have bothered me, should have felt creepy, but it didn't. It just felt sad. One morning, I walked past her car on my way to mine, stopped, looked at her through the window. She was staring straight ahead, her hands on the wheel. She looked smaller than I remembered. I thought about knocking on the window, asking her what she wanted, but I didn't. I just kept walking, got in my car, and drove away. Thomas noticed the change in me. You're smiling more, he said one night. Am I? Yeah, it's weird, but good. I laughed. Thanks, I think. I'm serious, man. You look happy. I am. Good. You deserve it. He paused. You seeing anyone? No. You thinking about it? I shrugged. Maybe someday. Not yet. That's smart. Take your time. Yeah. He grinned. But when you're ready, let me know. I know some people. I'm sure you do. We both laughed. One night, about 3 months after the divorce was finalized, I was leaving my apartment when I saw her. Evelyn. She was standing by her car, not inside it, just standing there, waiting. I stopped. We looked at each other across the parking lot. She looked different, thinner. Her hair was shorter. She was wearing jeans and a t-shirt. I'd never seen her in a t-shirt before. Hi, she said. Hi. She wrapped her arms around herself. Can we talk? We already did. I know, but She took a breath. I needed to see you. One more time. I didn't move closer. Didn't move away. Why? Because I never really apologized. Not for real. I waited. She looked down at her feet. I was awful to you, Marcus. I know that now. I was selfish and cruel, and I took you for granted. Her voice cracked. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I watched her, saw the tears on her face, the pain in her eyes, and I believed her. Okay, I said. She looked up. Okay? Yeah, I forgive you. She blinked. You do? Yeah, just like that. Just like that. She wiped her face. Why? I thought about it. Because holding on to anger was killing me, and letting it go set me free. She stared at me. I don't deserve that. No, you don't. But I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. She nodded slowly. Can I ask you something? Sure. Did you ever really love me? I looked at her, at the woman I'd married, the woman I'd tried so hard to make happy. Yes, I said, but I don't think you ever really loved me. She opened her mouth, then closed it, because we both knew it was true. I wanted to, she whispered. I really did. I know. She took a step toward me. Can we, can we try again? Start over? I shook my head. No. Why not? Because some things can't be fixed. They can only be learned from. Tears rolled down her face. I miss you. You miss the idea of me, I said gently. You miss having someone who made you feel good about yourself, but you never really saw me. She covered her face. I walked over to her, stopped a few feet away. I hope you find someone who makes you happy, Evelyn, someone who fits your world, someone you can respect. She looked up at me. What if I can't? Then you learn to be happy alone. I turned to go. Marcus, I looked back. Thank you, she said, for everything, for being kind, even when I didn't deserve it. I nodded. Take care of yourself. I walked to my car, got in, and drove away. In the rearview mirror, I saw her standing there, watching me leave. But this time I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel sad. I just felt peace. Life got easier after that. I stopped seeing her car around my neighborhood, stopped checking my phone for messages that wouldn't come. I focused on work, started building my own business, a small car service, just me and two other drivers, nothing big, but it was mine. I reconnected with old friends, made new ones, started going to a small church on Sundays, not because I was religious, just because it felt good to be part of something. I started dating again, nothing serious, just coffee dates, dinners, getting to know people. It felt good to be wanted, to be seen, to be enough. 6 months after the divorce, I was driving downtown when I saw her. Evelyn, she was walking out of a restaurant with a man, older guy, gray hair, expensive suit. She was smiling, laughing. She looked happy. For a second, I thought about feeling jealous, about feeling hurt, but I didn't. I just felt glad for her. I hoped she'd learn something, hoped she'd treat him better than she'd treated me. But even if she didn't, it wasn't my problem anymore. I drove past, and I didn't look back. A year passed, then another. Life became something I hadn't expected, something better. My car service grew. I hired 3 more drivers, good people, honest people. We treated customers right and word spread. Nothing fancy, just reliable work and respect. I moved into a bigger apartment, 2 bedrooms, one for me, one for the office. Mrs. Patterson helped me move, bringing over a casserole and sweet tea. Look at you, she said, standing in my new living room, moving on up, just a little bit at a time. That's the only way that matters, she said. Thomas became my business partner. He handled the mechanical side, keeping the cars running, finding good deals on vehicles. I handled the people side, drivers, customers, schedules. We made a good team. You know what's crazy? He said one night as we closed up the office. What? You're happier now than I've ever seen you, even before Evelyn. I thought about that. I think I finally figured out who I am. Who's that? Just Marcus, not trying to be anyone else. He smiled. That's all you ever needed to be, man. I dated here and there, met some nice women, had some good conversations, a few second dates, one relationship that lasted 3 months before we both realized we wanted different things. It didn't hurt when it ended. That was the difference now. I knew my worth, knew what I deserved, and I wasn't willing to settle. I saw Evelyn one more time. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I was having lunch at a sandwich shop downtown when she walked in. She didn't see me at first. She was on her phone typing something. She looked different again. Her hair was longer. She was wearing business clothes. She looked confident. She ordered at the counter, then turned to find a seat. Our eyes met. She froze. For a second, neither of us moved. Then she walked over. Marcus, Evelyn, can I? She gestured to the empty chair. Can I sit? Sure. She sat down, put her phone face down on the table. How are you? She asked. Good. You? Good. She nodded. Really good, actually. That's good. We sat in awkward silence. I heard about your business, she said. The car service. That's great. Thank you. Are you are you happy? I looked at her, really looked. Yeah, I said, I am. She smiled, but it was sad. I'm glad. Her order was called. She stood up to get it. When she came back, she didn't sit down. I think about you sometimes, she said. About us. Me too. Do you. She stopped, started again. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if things had been different? I thought about it. No, I said honestly. I don't think we were meant to make it. We wanted different things. We're different people. She nodded slowly. You're right. She looked down at her food. I'm sorry I couldn't be what you needed. I'm sorry I tried to be something I wasn't. She looked at me then, really looked. You're different now, stronger. So are you. She smiled, a real one this time. Take care of yourself, Marcus. You too, Evelyn. She walked out of the shop. I watched her go, felt nothing but peace. That chapter was closed, and I was okay with that. I met someone new on a Thursday. Her name was Jasmine. She was a teacher, third grade. She came into the coffee shop I'd started going to every morning. We kept running into each other, same time, same place, started nodding, then saying good morning, then talking. She was beautiful, brown skin, natural hair, a smile that lit up the room. But more than that, she was kind, real. She asked questions and actually listened to the answers. One morning, I finally worked up the nerve. Can I buy you coffee sometime, like intentionally? She laughed. You mean like a date? Yeah, like a date. I'd like that. We went out that Friday. Dinner at a small Italian place. Nothing fancy, just good food and good conversation. She told me about her students. I told her about my business. We talked about music and movies and what we wanted from life. At the end of the night, I walked her to her car. I had a really good time, she said. Me too. Can we do this again? I'd like that. She smiled, leaned in, kissed my cheek. Good night, Marcus. Good night. I drove home feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Hope. Jasmine and I took it slow. Coffee dates, dinner dates, movies, long walks, phone calls that lasted hours. She met Thomas and liked him. He pulled me aside later. That woman is special. I know. Don't mess it up. I won't. She met Mrs. Patterson, who gave her approval with a knowing smile. You're glowing, she told me one day. Am I? Yes, and it's about time. Jasmine never asked about Evelyn, never pressed me about my past. But one night, about 2 months in, we were sitting on my couch and she said, Can I ask you something? Sure. You were married before? It wasn't a question. Yeah. How'd you know? You have that look, like you've been hurt but you healed from it. I nodded. I was married. It didn't work out. We wanted different things. Do you still love her? I thought about it. Really thought. No. I think I stopped loving her before I even left. I just didn't realize it yet. Are you over it? Yeah, I am. She looked at me, searched my face. Okay. Okay? Yeah, I believe you. She leaned her head on my shoulder. We sat like that for a while, just breathing, just being. It felt right. 6 months into dating Jasmine, I saw Evelyn's car one last time. I was leaving my apartment early one morning. Had a big day, meeting with a potential investor for the business. I was nervous, excited, and there it was, the silver Mercedes, parked across the street. I stopped, walked over to it. Evelyn was inside. She looked like she'd been crying. I knocked on the window. She jumped, looked at me, rolled down the window. What are you doing here? I asked. Not angry, just curious. I don't know. Her voice was hoarse. I was just driving and I ended up here. Evelyn, I know, this is crazy. She wiped her face. I needed to see you, To know you're real. I'm real. Are you happy? Yes. She nodded. Fresh tears rolled down her face. Good. That's good. I crouched down, looked her in the eye. You need to stop coming here. I know. I mean it. This isn't healthy for either of us. I know. She covered her face. I just don't know how to let go. You just do, one day at a time. You stop, driving past. Stop thinking about what could have been. You let it be what it was and you move on. How did you do it? I chose myself, instead of choosing to hurt. She looked at me then, really looked. I wish I'd known how to do that when we were together. Me too. She took a shaky breath. I'm going to go now, for real this time. I won't come back. Good. Marcus? Yeah? Thank you for being kind, even now. I stood up. Take care of yourself, Evelyn. You too. I stepped back. She started her car, pulled away. I watched her drive down the street, turn the corner, disappear, and I knew I'd never see her again. I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. I got in my car and drove to my meeting. That night, I took Jasmine to dinner. We sat outside on a patio, string lights glowing above us. The air was warm, the food was good. She was laughing at something I'd said. I looked at her, at this woman who saw me, who valued me, who made me feel like I was enough just as I was. What? She asked, still smiling. Nothing. I'm just happy. Good. You should be. She reached across the table, took my hand. I squeezed back. I need to tell you something, I said. Okay. I saw my ex-wife this morning. Her smile faded a little. Oh. She was parked outside my apartment. She's been doing that sometimes, just sitting there. Jasmine pulled her hand back. Marcus. Wait, let me finish. I leaned forward. I told her to stop, told her she needed to let go and move on, and I think she will. Do you still have feelings for her? No? None. I promise you that. She studied my face. Then why are you telling me? Because I don't want any secrets between us. I want you to know where I've been, what I've been through, so you can decide if you want to be here. She was quiet for a moment. Then she reached for my hand again. I want to be here. Relief washed over me. Yeah? Yeah. Everyone has a past, Marcus. What matters is what you do with it. And you, she smiled. You learned from yours. You grew. That's all anyone can ask. I brought her hand to my lips, kissed it softly. Thank you. For what? For seeing me. Her eyes got soft. That's easy. You're worth seeing. 2 years later, I proposed to Jasmine in that same coffee shop where we first talked. I didn't make a big scene, just got down on one knee during the morning rush and asked her to marry me. She said yes before I even finished the question. People applauded. The barista gave us free coffee. Thomas was my best man. Mrs. Patterson cried at the wedding. Evelyn wasn't there. I didn't invite her, didn't think about her. I was too busy looking at my wife, at the woman who chose me every single day, who loved me for exactly who I was. Sometimes, late at night, when Jasmine is asleep beside me, I think about that night at the club, the night I saw Evelyn with Ryan, the night everything changed. I think about the man I was then, broken, desperate for approval, willing to make himself small to fit into someone else's world, and I'm grateful to him, because his pain taught me something important. That silence, once earned, becomes freedom. That walking away isn't weakness, it's strength. That some people will never see your worth. And that's okay, because you don't need their permission to know your value. I think about Evelyn too. Wonder if she ever found what she was looking for. Wonder if she learned to love someone the way they deserved. I hope she did, not because I miss her, not because I wish things had been different, but because everyone deserves to be happy, even the people who hurt us. And me? I'm happy. I have a wife who loves me, a business I'm proud of, friends who value me, a life that's mine. I don't need revenge, don't need the last word, don't need to prove anything to anyone. I just need to keep being me. And that's enough. Some mornings, when I'm driving to work, I pass the street where Evelyn's house is, our old house. I don't slow down, don't look, I just drive past, keep moving forward, because that's what freedom looks like. Not a loud victory, not a big dramatic ending, just peace, quiet, dignity, and the knowledge that I chose myself, that I walked away, that I survived, and that I'm better for it. The sun rises, the coffee brews. Jasmine smiles at me across the breakfast table, and I smile back. Because this, right here, right now, this is the life I was meant to have. Not the one I fought for, the one I found when I finally stopped fighting. And it's beautiful. The end.